What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of Attack the Hill. In this episode, I'm going to leave out my intro. I'm just going to cut all that bullshit out and just get right into it. I'm going to be talking about 5 main topics. Halo Infinite has been out since November. It's been about 3 weeks since we've had an update stating fixes to the game, major fixes. However, I want to talk about the issues that still persist, or some of those issues that they said they had fixed, but clearly are still there. A lot of the community members have been talking about how bad the melee is currently and some of the shot registration, but I also want to talk about a few other issues as well. So, awesome, cool, glad you guys are here. If you're new to the channel, you can either like or subscribe. I'm not paid by anybody and I'm not sponsored, so just enjoy the video. Yep, stay tuned.
Hello, motherfucker.
Alright, let's get into the big one, server issues, mainly with Big Team Battle. Out of the community's frustration has been vented, and I don't know if 343 is listening to us, but I hope that fixing the server issues, specifically with Big Team Battle, is on their priority list. I know that 343 had a lot on their plate right before Christmas, and I hope that when they get back to the office, they'll be able to fix some of these issues. I know currently, right now, even if you get into a game, you're lucky to have maybe just an 8v8, or even before, I've had me versus an entire team of 8. In this specific game, it was just 2 versus 1, literally 2 versus 1, or excuse me, 2 versus 2. Really, by the end of the game, or the end of the 5 minutes, it really was just us 2 versus the only one guy. In fact, I actually added the guy on the other team as a friend. Respawn locations. We're just gonna zip right through these guys. So, respawn locations. So this is an issue in Arena as well, but more specifically in Big Team Battle. If you guys remember in Halo 5 in Warzone, or if you ever played, or not necessarily played, but if you've ever been in Forge on Halo 5, when you're ever placing player spawns, you have the option to basically choose whether the player gets to spawn there, whether there's an enemy nearby or not, or if there's some sort of object there. And it seems like Halo Infinite has kind of just done away with that, just plopped in a couple spawn points, but didn't really exactly choose the option to make it so that they couldn't spawn if there's an enemy nearby. This is almost disgusting. I felt pretty trashy just going back here and just kind of running these guys over. You know, these guys are probably pissed off, and then these guys probably especially. These guys tried to push me off the cliff, and then they just ultimately fell to their death, and I got the kill for it because I hit damage on them. But yeah, this is pretty disgusting to be able to just murder these guys back in their spawn point. The game forces them to spawn here. I basically spawned facing one direction, but then when the camera came to, I don't know, what the fuck? Residual bugs. Some of you are wondering what the fuck you talking about, residual bugs. Well, things that are either destroyed or something that's on your persons, but you end up, just a piece of it just ends up getting left, and it's just kind of floating there, or just not attached to anything. So, for example, my dog tag just sort of kind of fell off my rifle. It even happens in campaign. If you remember in Halo 5, we eventually got in Forge some of the pieces to put together a Phantom. One of those was like the thrusters. This is literally just a thruster. And as you can see, my reticle actually turns red just hovering over the thruster itself, but there's nothing there. I've even tried to grapple onto it to see if it was like an invisible Phantom, but it was just a thruster that was just sitting there. I'm assuming the Phantom it flew through there at one point in time. I don't know. It's kind of funny. The Marine team that was following me just actually started attacking it. So the AI actually recognized it as being an enemy, so they started trying to attack it. Obviously, they're not going to be able to kill or destroy it, so they just started shooting it and lobbing grenades everywhere. Eventually, one of the Marines, this is kind of funny, but one of the Marines started just chucking grenades everywhere, not really, caring about where those grenades landed, and kind of killed a couple of those guys, as you see here. On to the next one, vehicle rollovers. I think we all know what this means. So if you've ever driven a Warthog or what is that banished vehicle we used to have, I think in Halo 2, Halo 3. It's really hard to drive vehicles. They like to flip over quite a bit. You hit like one small rock and you just rolled over. Shot melee registration. This is a huge one, especially when you're in arena and you're trying to do ranked. I think especially with melee. Melee is just trash. Melee doesn't make sense. Melee half the time works. I don't know what the rules are on melee. Here, this is just a prime example of shot registration. I've actually slowed this clip down. As you can see, terrible shot. He shoots me one time. He's just as bad a shot, but I've actually meleeed him. And then this is where the shot registration is completely off. So I've done quite a bit of damage to him. His shield is off. I should have been able to kill him. I'm not the greatest shot with the assault rifle, but getting up close like this, my melee just didn't seem to. He has no shields as well. He's reloading. I've meleeed him twice now. Unfair objective spawns. So this is more or less with the seeds, the mode in Big Team Battle, the seeds. I don't know what the fucking mode is called, but it's where you collect the seeds and you deposit them in your base. I think a lot of you can agree that sometimes the seeds tend to spawn on one side, giving the unfair advantage to the other team. And usually, what I've seen is red team, no matter what map it is. Usually, it's unfair placement of the seeds. On I think all the Big Team Battle maps, the seeds tend to spawn closer or in an easier way to get to, giving them an unfair advantage to being able to grab those seeds. So you can see their team is easily able to get up to those seeds because it's on the other side of this middle part, this rock formation with the tunnel, what do you want to call it. So our team just kind of, what the fuck moment, there's, what can you do? That's it. Thanks guys. See you next time.